Good evening and welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 3rd of September. Massive cordon and search operations launched in India's Jammu and Kashmir. US stopped coalition support funds, not aid, says Pakistan's foreign minister. A new US general arrives in Afghanistan with peace still distant. And now for all the details. Massive cordon and search operations were launched by security forces in several villages in Pulwama district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Monday. The operations began following inputs about presence of terrorists in the villages.
Security forces launched a massive search operation in several villages in Pulwama district of India's Jammu and Kashmir province on Monday. The operation began following reports about presence of terrorists in these villages. There were no reports of any exchange of fire in any of the villages included in the search till last reports came in. This is not the first such operation in the area undertaken by security forces. Known as area domination operations, these are usually undertaken to prevent terrorists from establishing a foothold in the region and force them out of densely populated villages and towns. India accuses neighbouring Pakistan of regularly arming and infiltrating terrorists across the border to spread unrest in the Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations.
Rains and water released from a dam on River Ganges in India's northern Kanpur city has caused the river to overflow, flooding nearby villages. Authorities have constructed makeshift living arrangements for the affected as normal life has been thrown out of gear.
Rains and water being released from Narora Dam on Mammoth River Ganges in India's northern Kanpur city has caused the river to overflow, flooding nearby villages. The river that has swelled was flowing at 114.61 meters upstream and 114.01 meters downstream on Sunday, making it to flow close to danger mark. On Monday, residents were seen wading through flood water as they struggled to carry out their daily activities. Meanwhile, district authorities had set up relief camps to accommodate people and livestock.
अभी तो लगभग 1000 लोग हैं जो शिविर की तरफ आए हैं अपने पशुओं को लेकर पशुओं के लिए चारे और अलग व्यवस्था की जा रही है लोगों के लिए खाने की व्यवस्था की जा रही है बाकी लोग घरों से निकले नहीं क्योंकि पानी का स्तर इतना ज़्यादा बढ़ा नहीं है पानी अभी 1 फीट 2 फीट है तो वहाँ पे सर्वाइव कर
Excessive monsoon rains this year has affected many parts of India. Annual rainfall is essential in India as rains support 2/3 of the 1.25 billion population living in rural areas who rely on farming. But excessive rainfalls cause problems like floods, landslides and waterborne diseases.
And in news from Pakistan, Pakistan claimed on Sunday the $300 million aid that the Pentagon has decided to scrap was not a military aid as the US owed this money to Islamabad for its support in the war on terror and was supposed to reimburse it. Pakistan's foreign minister said the matter would be taken up during US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's upcoming visit to the country.
Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi said on Sunday that the US administration did not cut off aid to Pakistan. Instead, it announced to end the coalition support funds that the country has already spent against terrorism. Qureshi's statement came after reports about the United States' decision to cancel $300 million in aid to Pakistan that had been halted over what Washington claims is Islamabad's failure to take decisive action against militants.
$300 बिलियन है ये एड न थी न है न ये असिस्टेंस थी न ये एड थी दर हकीकत ये हमारा कोलिशन सपोर्ट फंड के मद में ये चीज़ आती थी और ये वो पैसा है जो पाकिस्तान ने अपने वसाइल से खर्च किया है और ये उन्होंने हमें रीइंबर्स करना था.
It adds to a broader cut to security aid This year, when President Donald Trump accused Pakistan of paying back past aid with nothing but lies and deceit. The latest move comes just days before a visit by the United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to meet the new Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan. US Defense Chief Jim Mattis told reporters last week that militants will be a primary part of their discussion.
Moving on, anti-Pakistan protests were held by Baloch activists in Germany and South Korea on Sunday against persecution of innocent Baloch people by Pakistani army and intelligence agencies. They blamed the Pakistani army operates with impunity in Balochistan and appealed to the international community to intervene.
Activists from Baloch National Movement on Sunday held anti-Pakistan protests in Germany and South Korea to raise voice against the human rights violations and the ongoing persecution of Baloch people in Balochistan. The protesters gathered in Germany's Hanover city and shouted anti-Pakistan slogans by calling it a terrorist state. They accused the Pakistani army and intelligence agencies for supporting terrorist groups who are engaged in the enforced disappearances and killings of innocent Baloch people. They also accused the Pakistani security forces of abducting Baloch women and children.
The Baloch women are being held in captivity against their will as sex slaves. Over 30,000 Baloch men have been forcibly disappeared and now they are targeting our women.
Activists have long blamed that thousands of Baloch political activists and intellectuals have been disappeared and many brutally killed by Pakistani security forces. They have been protesting worldwide to seek help from the international community and human rights organizations.
And in news from Afghanistan, US Army General Scott Miller took over the command of NATO forces in Afghanistan on Sunday. The handover ceremony came over at a time when Washington is facing questions over its strategy to force the Taliban into peace talks in Afghanistan.
US Army General Scott Miller took over command of NATO forces in Afghanistan on Sunday, arriving as Washington faces growing questions over its strategy to force the Taliban into peace talks. Speaking at the handover ceremony, Miller said NATO forces must continually learn and adapt to the enemy and environment in order to be successful. The United States is now a year into its strategy of stepping up pressure on the Taliban by increasing airstrikes and sending troops to train and advise Afghan forces.
To be successful, we must continue to learn, adapt to the enemy, to the environment. There's no room for status quo. We cannot afford to be complacent. We must be wary of bias and easy conclusions. They don't exist here.
Like his predecessor, General John Nicholson, Miller spent years in Afghanistan before assuming command of the US and the coalition forces there. He was among the first US troops to arrive in Afghanistan in 2001 as part of the campaign to topple the Taliban following the September 11 attacks in the United States.
Tibetans in Dharamshala town of India's northern Himachal Pradesh province marked their 58th Democracy Day on Sunday. Scores of Tibetan people, including members of the Tibetan Parliament, monks, nuns and school children thronged the main Buddhist temple in the town to celebrate the occasion together.
Tibetans in exile in India's northern hill town of Dharamshala on Sunday commemorated the Tibetan Democracy Day that marks the establishment of democratic system by their spiritual leader Dalai Lama. Thousands of people, including members of the Tibetan Parliament, monks, nuns and school children gathered to attend the event at the main Buddhist temple in the town. Children performed traditional dance and played music to regale the audience.
It's the celebration of 58th anniversary of Democracy Day for the Tibetans, and it's a day when we celebrate not only getting democracy for the Tibetans, it's a day to remember about the rights and the responsibilities one has towards its own nation, towards its own people. So it's a day of celebration and the day whereby we celebrate the kindness of His Holiness' vision for the Tibet to take responsibilities.
On this day in 1960, democracy was introduced by the Dalai Lama, and since then Tibetans are electing their members of parliament in exile, Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. In 1959, thousands of Tibetans had fled their land following spiritual leader Dalai Lama to India after a rebellion against the Chinese rule. India is now home to almost 100,000 Tibetans.
Scores of jewellers in India's northwestern Jaipur city thronged a 4-day gems and jewellery show over the weekend. The show brings manufacturers, retailers and designers together every year to create a unique business environment.
Over 7,000 jewellers participated in the 12 Jewellers Association show organised in India's northwestern Jaipur city for 4 days. Organised by the Jewellers Association Centre, the trade show was inaugurated on Friday and continued till Monday. The show, which is organised every year, brings together manufacturers, retailers, designers, artisans, wholesalers and buyers, create a unique business environment.
हमारा कंसेप्ट है माइंस टू ज्वेलरी, उसको पूरा दिखाया है और जेम्स और ज्वेलरी के एक एक प्रोसेस को बताया, जिससे कि आम आदमी को मालूम पड़े कि ज्वेलरी जो पहनते हैं वो कितनी मुश्किल से बनती है और कितने लोगों के हाथ लग के ये चीज़ उनके हाथ में आती है। ये कोई ऐसा कोई वो नहीं है कि यूँ खरीदा, अपने पैसे दिए और चीज़ खरीद ली, ये दसियों हाथ से निकलता है।
India is reportedly the biggest buyer of jewellery in the world and has about more than 100,000 workshops supplying gold jewellery to nearly 300,000 retail outlets, most of them family-owned, single-shop operations.
Devotees across India on Monday thronged temples to celebrate the festival of Janmashtami, which marks the birth of Hindu Lord Krishna. The festival was observed by bathing and makeup of Krishna's idols, a ritual performed with great zest.
Devotees across India celebrated the Hindu festival of Janmashtami on Monday, which marks the birthday of Lord Krishna. Scores of people in the temple town of Mathura in India's Uttar Pradesh province thronged a temple dedicated to Lord Krishna and goddess Radha for the celebrations. The devotees, including children, dressed up as Krishna, were seen dancing and singing religious hymns on the occasion.
We've come here to celebrate Krishna's birthday, and how do you find it? It's so amazing, like the energy is amazing.
In India's northern Amritsar city, miniature idol of the Hindu god was bathed in water and milk as a part of the celebrations. Bathing and makeup of the god's idol are performed with great zest as a ritual on the auspicious occasion.
ठाकुर जी का स्नान, सारा श्रृंगार वगैरह सब कुछ मैं देखती हूँ। यहाँ पे बहुत ही अच्छा होता है, श्रृंगार भी और स्नान भी बहुत अच्छी तरह से करवाया जाता है। और मैं ठाकुर जी से यही प्रे करूँगी कि जैसे हर साल दिखा रहे हैं वैसे ही हर साल हमें मुझे ऐसे ही दिखाते रहें।
Similar scenes were witnessed in Indian capital New Delhi, where devotees thronged temples at the crack of the dawn to commemorate Krishna's birthday. According to Hindu texts, Lord Krishna took birth in human form to kill Kans, the demon king of Mathura city and maternal uncle of Lord Krishna. The festivities climax at midnight, and it is believed that Lord Krishna was born at that hour.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsia Newsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.